Okay, it is 1 p.m. Eastern, and we are going to start this webinar. This is our summer trials webinar. We have some housekeeping notes here, just briefly. If you do have a question, you can use the Q&A function. You can pose your question, and we'll be sure to answer it. We'll also take some questions at the end. We are delighted to present the 2025 summer trials. This is so exciting. It's one of my favorite times of the year. This is our 6th year doing this. Just a lot of beautiful plants that have been performing all through the summer. Wonderful experiences walking these trials. My name is Jamie Gibson. I'm a tech lead for Syngenta Flowers. And with me today is one of my favorite people in Syngenta Flowers, Lauren Kilpatrick. Lauren, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, thank you, Jamie. I'm Lauren Kilpatrick. I'm our technical trial manager for the Americas, and I'm really excited to be joining you today to really highlight our varieties and how they performed.
Yeah, Lauren, with all the trial work they do, she gives us all these insights and learnings. So it's very wonderful to have her as a teammate. So yeah, let's dive right in because we have a chocked full slide set of garden performers. So Lauren, tell us a little bit about what we've got in this slide.
Well, firstly, yes, thank you so much to all of our trialing partners. This year we had over 22 different trialing locations across North America. So, and we realize it's a lot of work from start to finish, especially the labeling, and also putting on those events and open houses that bring everyone together to see these firsthand. So thank you to everyone who is one of our partners.
Absolutely.
We also, of course, can't cover everything today in this webinar, but we do have a trials page on our website. So be sure to check that out where you can actually take a digital tour and see photos from all of our trialing locations.
Yeah, and throughout the session today, you'll be seeing some links posted into the chat. You can save these links, you can bookmark them. But I love this site. This is a really good silent sales tool for sales folks, for landscapers to use this to see some of the thumbnails. Um, our marketing events person, Melanie Fernandez, puts her heart and soul into this website where you can click on the icons, you can visit each trial site, you can scroll down, you can see some of the thumbnails of the high performing varieties. So, these trials are where we are, where our sales folks are, where our supply chain folks are, people out and about in the field, right? Syngenta Flowers personnel are across North America. And so we are where you are. And so we try to really focus on those plants that are performing in those regions to really help the landscaper, the grower produce really outstanding crops and garden performers. So we're going to jump right into the agenda. I'm not going to hit all these individual plants. We're going to definitely hit them hard in the slide set, but I love this photo from the Ball Gardens as it features the annuals, the perennials, the vegetative plants, the seed plants. Just a cool picture to kind of kick off this agenda. So we're going to cover 2 new seed series, a bunch of improvements, and some vegetative crops as well. 2 vegetative series that we're launching here. And we've also got some exciting things. So, Lauren, what else is on the agenda?
Well, of course, we can't skip our quick combos because we have a couple new intros this year that were absolutely beautiful. We also, new to the webinar this year, are going to do some quick perennial highlights. And then, of course, something that I'm sure people will be very excited about. We have a 2026 sneak peek. And then, of course, Q&A. So like Jamie said, if you have questions, go ahead and put them in our Q&A. And if they're short, we'll try to answer them as we go. But if not, then we'll try to take care of them at the end.
Absolutely. Okay, Lauren. So let's kick it off with this amazing series of Snapdragon.
Sweet. Well, it is Sweet Duet, a brand new seed series for us. It's a really nice medium height double flowered snapdragon, and they do have a fragrance. So be sure to stop and smell the snapdragons. We have an amazing assortment of colors. They're really nicely branched, really nice heat tolerance. And this really cool, you might be wondering, what is this photo about with the kale and mum combo, Jamie?
Yeah, this is Tabitha Scarlet with a little bit of bright and early red kale, a little basket of fire from our Vegetalis, and look at that sweet duet deep red as a thriller in that mum combination. So think about fall season a lot for these sweet duets, these double snapdragons.
I love it, and I love the mumbos. Well, here's some trialing performance, starting off with Lucas Greenhouses in New Jersey, and then we also had them all at Colorado State University. So you can just see that really nice branched habit and also the garden longevity there too.
Yeah. You also have some technical tips on the trialing process, right? You learned a lot about this series. So tell us a little bit about the Sweet Duet from a cultural standpoint.
That's right. While it's early and fresh and you're all locked in, we gotta get a little nerdy with technical trialing. So Sam, our technical trialing scientist in California, worked a lot on this series, and we found that they're not greatly influenced by photo period, but actually temperature. So under your warmer temperatures, it shortens the production time, so they'll finish in about 5 to 5.5 weeks. Whereas under cooler temperatures, like early spring perhaps, then they'll take a little bit longer to flower. So keep that in mind while you're scheduling. But also, that really does lend these to being very versatile throughout the year and also just perfect for those season extending fall combos.
Outstanding.
Okay, another new seed series that I'm very excited about is Whisper Nicotiana. Now, this is for our cut flower portfolio. These are really vigorous, long-stemmed plants with really pretty pastel flowers that also have a fragrance to them. And even though they were for our specialty cut flower farmers, we couldn't help ourselves and we did put them at several different trial sites across North America, and they were absolutely stunning. So here they are at the Dallas Arboretum in Texas, the East Texas Annual and Perennial Trial, and also Young Plant Farms in Alabama.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the fascinating things about this is some of the growers who aren't used to doing cut flowers love this plant, actually having it in their garden trials just for that beauty, that multicolored effect when you blend the colors together. Really exciting, big, giant, bold, great cut flower, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And of course we put it in the Inflora cut flower trial. And then also here's just a really beautiful stem shot from one of our cut flower trialing partners in Virginia.
So there you have it, the Whisper, Nicotiana. Okay, talk about another exciting garden performer. It's a little bit after 1 o'clock. I've had lunch. Lauren, did you have lunch before we came on for our webinar today?
Funny you should ask, I did, and I actually had a Sunfinity sandwich.
What? A Sunfinity sandwich? What on earth? That sounds tasty. And what a Sunfinity sandwich is you take that double yellow as the bread on the shoulder seasons, early spring, May, later summer, and you put that wonderful combination substance in the middle, sliced tomatoes, a little bit of lettuce, a little bit of mayonnaise, maybe a little bit of bacon for a little sizzle. And speaking of sizzle, this yellow red bicolor is amazing. So this is the third Sunfinity in the series. This is a seed propagated crop. It has nice tones. So real nice bright yellow petals with that red ring, beautiful dark center, highly attractive, great garden performer. This is a great addition to the Sunfinity lineup. So let's talk a lot about the trials. I know when you were visiting the Overton trials there in Texas, right? People were just
Mhm.
hammering it with flags. So we know that it was super popular in its performance, really strong garden performance. We've got it here in the north at Landscape Ontario, and then at Young's down in the south. So here it is with its brother, right? The yellow yellow dark center, the original, the OG, if you will. Look at the similar vigor. And that's what we do. We talk about culture. So that's why we encourage the same kind of production culture as the yellow dark center with those PGR prescribed treatments. So you want to keep those internodes in check for really strong garden performance. So have some really nice ratings there in the garden. We've got it here in the north at the University of Minnesota at Morris. Penn State had some nice featured production. Let's see, we had a 4.4 out of 5 there in the Ball Gardens. DGI also showcased it, as DGI offers the Sunfinity as a plug offering in their business. So we're delighted to have it all across the US and Canada. And like we talked about Whisper, this is an incredible cut flower, right? So the original Yellow Dark Center, 90 to 120 stems per plant. So think about that from a cut flower farmer standpoint. More cuts, great vase life, up to 9-day vase life. And we heard that when these were marketed right along with the traditional sunflower look, these were gobbled up much faster pace. So we know that this is going to be a delight also to the cut flower farmers. Okay, so that's the yellow red bicolor, Sunfinity number 3 in that
Wow.
Sunfinity sandwich right in the middle there. Then we've got Cora XDR Red Glow. This is a new addition to our Cora XDR. We've got a tremendous amount of colors. Lauren, when we grew this and we trialed this, can you talk a little bit about some of that technical insight?
Yeah, absolutely. So our new Cora XDR Red Glow has improved flower timing. With our technical trials, we learned that it is a week earlier to flower than our Cora Classic Red. So with that improved flower timing, it now aligns with the rest of the Cora XDR series. So you have a nice tight flower timing window. You still have that beautiful branched habit and fully rounded flower power petal as well.
Absolutely. And then with that aerial Phytophthora resistance, high resistance to the pathogen, 36 strains of that aerial Phytophthora that it's resistant to. So super performer in the South. Here we have it at Young's getting a 4 out of 5 rating. At Penn State, it had a 5.0 out of 5 rating the entire summer, just striking amongst all the other seed Cora, XDR, and our Nirvana vegetative. Here it is in the north at the University of Minnesota. And northern growers love it too, right? Great branching, beautiful flower shape, high performance. You saw this as well in Texas, right? How did it do there?
That's right. It was absolutely stunning in all the Texas trialing locations, as you can see, from Dallas to East Texas, all the way even further south in the humidity of Houston. A gorgeous color. And of course, Texas has sometimes the worst of the worst of the strains, and this held up all summer long.
Absolutely. Yeah. So wicked, nasty strains down there. So that's where we always keep our eyes open for any kind of pathogen stress, because this one is constantly evolving. We're always staying on top, working with our partner, our third party partner at Clemson University with the resistance breeding. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, another fantastic summer item is Beehive Pentas. So this is our trailing pentas from seed. We've had the Beehive White for quite a while, so we're really excited to be introducing additional colors to this series with this really beautiful lilac, this really bright lipstick, and a pink bicolor. These are a beautiful option for baskets because they start kind of cascading down the side. Also, you don't have to pinch these during production, so they're really nice to have in your lineup for that summer sale season. And here we have photos of them from our California spring trials during week 13, introducing them to everyone in the market, just full of flowers, really beautiful.
Really strong chassis as well, right? It builds that body, and then it begins that tease and cascade. So attractive for those 10-inch baskets, right? 3 plugs, 288 plugs in a basket, 10 weeks. Great season extender for the retailer.
Absolutely. And also a big summer performer. So we had this down at Young's Plant Farm in Alabama in their in-ground trial. So also makes for a really great landscape item as well. Of course, the baskets, as we mentioned, with seeing it up in Michigan.
Yeah, I had a
And
rating of close to 4 at Young's, 4 out of 5. And we love those big white baskets they have at Rakers. I love how they display the hanging baskets there as you walk throughout the garden trials.
nice. And then we had a few container trials as well at Penn State and the Houston, Texas AgriLife Extension container trial. So just really strong performance throughout the whole season with these.
Yeah, 4.6 to 4.9 for all the varieties in Beehive out of 5. So very impressive
Wow.
performance. All right,
Okay.
another series.
Are you prepared to be mesmerized, Jamie?
I am ready to be mesmerized. Absolutely.
Well, this is, yes, yet another awesome new seed series. A lot of strong seed intros this season. So this new seed, Coleus, is really bright, bold patterns, unique texture, really perfect for landscape application. The awesome thing about these is that they're bred for heat and sun tolerance, which is pretty fantastic, especially since we have that lime green and red in there.
Yeah, and these complement our vegetative coleus, the Talavera, right? So we've got the best of both worlds. We've got an awesome red, we've got an awesome green here in the mesmerized. We've got those novelty colors throughout Talavera, but you've also got great chartreuse, green, red colors and tricolors in these mesmerized. What more can you need? It's just awesome.
Just awesome. And yeah, is how they perform throughout the summer. So down south at Young's Plant Farm and their in-ground trial, and then also in-ground at Riker Roberta's up in Michigan. You can see that they have, they're later to flower. The color and pattern is pretty stable and holding up really nicely.
Yeah, close to 4.0 again, 4 out of 5 there at Young's. And I love Rakers, right? It's great in that Michigan garden tour. You've got Rakers that features a lot of the seed crops in the ground beds, and then they have the containers. And then you can go north to Grand Rapids, Mass Junk Plants having the vegetative. So you get seed vegetative in that very close region if you're looking at trials.
And then here we have a couple shots also from Colorado State University in their containers. A really nice photo of a mesmerized chocolate rose from University of Georgia. And then, of course, while I was down in Texas and I saw the lime green in full sun at the Dallas Arboretum, I just had to take a close-up picture to really showcase how it's still holding its really nice green color.
Yeah, and super punishing heat and light intensity, right? Even, when it starts to crank up there in June, that's when you start to really see what stands out, what starts getting the flags, what gets noticed by that landscaper community. So yeah, pretty exciting to hold that color in that amount of heat and light intensity. That's pretty impressive. And the late flowering, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, speaking of late flowering, right? We don't traditionally present a lot of cool season stuff, but this is super cool. This is really cool. This is one of my favorite cascading pansies called Free Fall. We have a new edition called Pineapple Crush, a gorgeous novelty. And it's cool because in the cooler months, it has more pastel colors. And then as the warmer temperatures tighten up, you start to see these more richer colors, these darker colors, so kind of like those lighter burgundy colors with that pineapple and that novelty look. The great thing about free fall is not only does it cascade, but it really holds its color well into the warmer part of the season. So we have a few trial sites here. Of course, there we're featuring a cast. I like to feature a few things out of my garden and my trials. I love this. Week 20, right? Week 20,
It's
mid-May,
gorgeous.
starting to crank up there in the mid-Atlantic, and you've got that intensity. And then we always love to see the Pacific Northwest because here we have week 31 at Smith Garden with Denise and her team. She's got all this trial material. She can highlight all the different types of annuals and biennials and perennials and how they perform there in those gardens. So we're super delighted to have Pineapple Crush in the trials this summer, right?
Mhm.
Okay, here we go, right? So we're having pansies, we're having perennials this year. We're going all out. Now we're going to talk about these patios, small space gardening patio vegetables, our Vegetalis line. And with its short amount of launch, it has received quite a few awards and accolades. And some of the exciting things that I love about it is not only its tasty fruit, right? Vegetalis is known not only for its small space gardening, but really delicious fruit. I just love some of these cherry tomatoes. One cherry tomato that I think is more of like an ornamental tomato or ornamental pepper tomato, if you will, is this Akoya. And the one thing you got to watch though, is you want to appreciate that purple fruit. You can't really eat the purple fruit. It's not the greatest taste. You really have to wait till it develops more of that orangey color, that kind of rusty orangey color, and then it's beautiful, real strong taste. It kind of reminds me of a 1980s movie. It's one of my top 10 movies. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's called Roadhouse. Yeah, it had Patrick Swayze, had Sam Elliott, and I remember a great quote from Sam Elliott in the movie. He said, and it reminded me of this "Don't eat the purple fruit." He said,
Ah,
uh, he was in a bar, he was in the bathroom, and above the urinal there was a sign that said, "Don't eat the big white mint." So yeah, that's what I remember every time I talk about Akoya, the purple fruit that goes orange. Party Ball, delicious cherry tomato. Now with Fusion and the other cherry tomato that we've got, just cascading across the basket. This won an award at Cultivate, the Retailer's Choice Award, Akoya and the Party Ball. We've also got Summer Dew as a grape tomato and the eggplant, Baby Jack. So little egg, just like eggs, right? Purple eggs. Wouldn't this be great for children's gardens? I don't usually use the word cute, but this is a cute eggplant. I mean, just an awesome eggplant for the garden. We've also got other wonderful varieties, strawberries and basil in Vegetalis, Paragon with this nice red fruit, Liberty Bell, a sweet pepper for, very nice, attractive orange fruit. Speaking of orange fruit, we launched Zest last year. Zest, it's got a little spice. So I'm talking to my friend here, Lauren. She's from Texas. She said, it's got a little heat. So I got excited this summer. I saw the fruit in my gardens. I'm like, I'm going to taste it. I'm going to see how it goes. My lips literally burned off, Lauren.
not everyone can be Texas tough, you know?
Well, I'll admit I am a wimp when it comes to peppers. So I definitely salute you for that zest. That is got some kick. All right, so that's the seed types. Now we're going to move into the vegetative types. And what better series to start off with than eye candy? And it's got some eye candy, right? So I often say this is the best of the best of the best hybrid begonias that our product manager, Matt Blanchard, has found. These 5 colors are striking. Dark foliage, double flowers, hybrid begonia. This is a shade begonia, little part sun, morning sun is fine. Really not want to expose this to intensity light. So some of the root and cell garden trials here. This is at Plant Peddler at their August trial garden. Look at all those flags that it got there in Cresco, Iowa. So it received number 6 out of 25. The Sunset, a real nice novelty, kind of a lower vigor, but really nice, gorgeous novelty flowers. And then here at Lucas, really performing well within the shade structure there, because this again is a shade plant. It also received other awards at other trial sites, a lot of the other root and cells. So Mass Young Plants, the Michigan State group identified it in the top 5 for Mass Young Plants. The staff at Mass Young Plants ranked it 5 out of 10. We also saw at Colorado State University the coral pink, large flowers, big, robust look. It won best in the tuber begonia area. So this was probably featured in the shade area. So it got really good accolades. It's not bred for its heat tolerance, but it was featured there at Young's, doing quite well in those summer trials. It was shown in full sun in Canada, in southern Ontario at the Sawaya trials. And so here you can see really nice, bright colored foliage, or bright flowers, really strong foliage, high performer. So really out of the gate, right? We kind of held this one back a little bit, making sure we had all of our propagation protocols in place. And, the awards came in. So we talked about some of the garden performing awards, but we were honored. We were honored to receive Greenhouse Growers, the Medal of Excellence Awards, the Reader's Choice, and the Industry Choice Awards. It was a team approach, right? From our farms, our supply chain, our trialing team, our sales team. working together. It just was an amazing team effort. And we were so delighted to receive the award there at Cultivate. It truly is eye candy. When you walked into Cast, yes, we had Sunfinity, but a lot of people went directly to the eye candy. So, um, just how it was at Cast, right? It really drew you to those displays. It received really strong performance there at Penn State as well. Nearly, I think it was around 4.5 to 5 for the five
Um,
colors out of five at Penn State there in the shade structure. So quickly, Cabrio, we've added a variety here in red sunset. So we had Cali Dark Red as kind of a compact 10.5 hour in the Cali, but now we have that true Cabrio habit, nice rounded shape, 10.5 hour, great for quartz and baskets. Here it is. I just love to see those globy domes, those big moundy habits that it has in the garden here at Lucas in the south and also in the Pacific Northwest. Really big, strong flower power in the garden with red sunset. So nice Calibracoa addition, some reds and novelties. And that's what we oftentimes hear from the retailers is don't give us the straight color, give us the novelty look with that kind of nice sunset look. So, okay, let's talk Nirvana.
All right, I get to cover Nirvana XDR. This was a new series launch for us last season, so now we're excited to be coming out with a couple more novelty colors. Now, Nirvana XDR, has that XDR because it still has the proven disease resistance, just like our core XDR. So you know it's going to perform all season long, especially for our customers in the South where they have more of that disease pressure. Um, it also is just a really nice medium vigor, roundy moundy habits. And of course, with these vegetative vinca, you can have some of these really cool, unique novelty colors.
And that's the name of the game, right? With these.
Absolutely. So here's just some trial performance photos starting out from Lucas Greenhouses and DJI Propagators. That coral color is just so pretty and just is like perfect for that summer look. And then here we have the new Apricot Splash. So you can see the in-ground performance down at Young's, container trial in Houston, and then also at Lucas Greenhouses. And this was actually voted #7 staff picks from Master Young Plants as well.
Awesome. Yeah, Young's also ranked it 3.7 to 3.8 out of 5. So it had really strong performance there in the gardens in the south there near Auburn University. Okay.
And this watermelon is my absolutely favorite color. It just really jumps out at you, and it performed fantastic throughout the North America. So again, at Young's Plant Farm in ground, we also had it at the East Texas Annual and Perennial Plant Trials in ground, Lucas Greenhouses, and then at Rakers up in Michigan.
I love this red. And when you think about that patriotic build that you could do for the states with, blue flowers like Angelonia, white flowers with all the different cascading lantanas. Yeah, this can be put together nicely as a combo. And that's kind of where we see this particular series being used is high-end retail for those nice combinations. And I know you're going to get into that here in a bit.
Yes, absolutely. So another heat-loving option is our Star Cluster Cascade Penta. So with the vegetative pentas, you get that really large flower umbel and flowers themselves. They're excellent garden performance for heat and drought tolerance, of course. With the cascades, they build body quite quickly to fill that container, and then they start to kind of come over the side, which we have a word for that. What is that word called, Jamie? That
It's a
word,
very technical term. It's
very
super
technical.
scientific. It's called sprounding.
Grounding. That's right.
Take,
Write it down.
yeah, meld spreading, mounding, and you get sprounding. What a great word to
Exactly.
describe a lot of our Syngenta series, much like the Bandalista lantana, right? That sprounding habit.
Absolutely. And here are some really beautiful trial performance photos. So we had it in ground at the East Texas Annual and Perennial Plant Trials up in Overton, Texas, Lucas Greenhouses, and then just wow, DGI propagators. I mean, just covered in flowers.
Yeah, and when you look at it, you've got some good reds in these series, but if you're looking for some alternative reds with a little bit of that lipstick tone, this is another great option, an alternative in your portfolio, in your lineup for the retailer.
So we've been talking a lot about combos, and combos are definitely getting more and more popular every year. They're easy for the consumer to take and have immediate success just on their patio. So this season, we actually put together what we're calling our patio playbook. So this is a resource. You can find it online on our website. And we did the trialing where we went through and put together our varieties that are vegetative, seed, perennial, garden mums, and kind of tested them out to see what would work and what wouldn't. So we have this guide with some of our tried and true combos to provide you inspiration. We have a whole section on heat lovers, as you can see here, but we've got shade combos, fall combos, you name it. So be sure to check it out.
Yeah, quick to access. You go into our catalogs link in our revised website, and it's very easy to download a flipping page, or you can download the file and use that in your programming. So thank you. All right. So Spectra, I know this one's near and dear to your heart, Lauren. You did a lot of work with this interspecific New Guinean patience. We call it the better New Guinean patience, right? Has that
Mhm.
interspecific DNA, large flower power, 120% more flower coverage than the competition. Big,
And I would
large
know, I
flowers.
counted
Yes.
it.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, that's yeoman's work for doing all that data collection. But yeah, it's got big, giant flowers. So very similar to the Sonics and Supersonics in terms of flower size. And the good news is we brought in this deep red. It now has a tighter flowering window amongst the other core colors. So your whites, your oranges, your magentas, your pinks, you bring those together. You're within about a 7 to 10 day window. So you're basically shipping all the colors in 1 week. So that deep red helps there. We've also got that more aggressive bright red, really nice higher vigor red. It's a little bit later, but we've also got these novelties, and now we've launched this peach bicolor for the Spectra lineup. So you got to have a little bit of novelty in New Guinean patience, and you got to, of course, have your core colors. So here we have it across the North America region, from north to south. Think about. I'm always thinking about Mel Sawaya's trials, and when you blend that Spectra white and that Spectra deep red together, look at that Canadian combo, that red and white combo doing well in the ground and container, and that's the nature of the interspecific. As it's in more sun, of course, irrigation critical for sun for these types of interspecific New Guineas. The leaves get smaller, the flower power becomes even greater because that foliage kind of allows those flowers to be well presented in the garden. Here's the peach bicolor. It did get some really strong ratings across the country. Anywhere close to 4, close to 4.5. So density, body, but flower power. Think about this as a front shoulder New Guinean patience because of its earlier flowering and its nice interspecific nature. So this peach bicolor, really a high performer both in the ground and in containers, which is characteristic of that interspecific DNA.
And just beautiful for those Mother's Day baskets. I mean, that peach bicolor is stunning. So, well, another beautiful pink, new color intro to our Bandalista Lantana lineup is our Bandalista Pink Lemonberry. So you got a little pink and a little bit of yellow. Again, our Vandalistas have that sprouting habit, so they're really built for creating beautiful baskets. They have great in-ground performance. They're also nearly sterile, so even more flower longevity. But also, quick tip, keep your lantanas watered and keep them fertilized, and that will also help with the flowers because they shatter pretty easily with all those little petals in there.
You don't want to say bandolista, you can say bandana basket too, right? We don't have any deep, hard rules when it comes to our bandana, our bandolero, our bandolista, our bandito lantana. So bandolista, pink lemonberry, awesome, striking. Those bright fuchsia colors, love them.
Yes, and it was stunning in all the trial sites across North America. Here at Metrolina, you can actually see it paired with a star cluster pentas. So really beautiful as a combo as well. You know, the in-ground trialing performance was fantastic at Young's and in Texas. And then just absolute covered flower sprouting habit up at Mast Young.
Yeah, Young's ranked at 4 out of 5, and then it was number 3 in visitor favorites at Mass Young Plants and number 2 in Mass Young Plant staff evaluation. So they love it up there in Grand Rapids.
And then here's a couple more trial performance picks from Lucas Greenhouses in New Jersey, up in Canada. And then I just absolutely loved this kind of landscape shot with it in Michigan with the sunflowers behind it. Just absolutely stunning.
All right, pink lemonberry, that 5th color now in the Bandolista. Okay, speaking of additional colors, we've had our core red, pink, and white in the Medinia, but now we've added a second white, which has a little tidier habit. It's called Elegant White, Medinia Elegant White. This is our bread and butter Dipladenia. I love to talk about Dipladenia. We have so many tools to help program Dipladenia for the growers. This is one of the strongest garden performers all the way into frost. But this Medinia Elegant White, look at its not so much compact, but its medium habit compared to the original Medinia White. Medinia White can be used in medium-sized containers up to large containers now. I mean, you could put this on a trellis program, and then you use the Elegant White now for maybe quartz or 10-inch baskets. So we've got the best of both worlds now within the Medinia, within that bread and butter series. Here it is at DGI there in Grand Rapids, where it's showing you some of that. Look at the budding on this thing, and it's only the early part of the summer, and it's continuing to crank. So we love that. I'm going to talk about the geraniums. We've got a few new additions, a couple of improvements. Last year we launched the Caldera Hot Pink, kind of scorch your eyes out, just hot pink flower power. And now Dr. Blanchard has brought forth this Caliente Hot Pink with tremendous flower power. So this is that interspecific DNA, having a little bit more of the ivy DNA to it, tolerates a little lower pH. But here it is, striking in the gardens, right? 3.8 out of 5 there at Young's. Here we have it at some of the other northern sites. Lucas, that I thought the geraniums at Lucas this year were just stunning, just knock you over. Beautiful flower power, all the way from the compacts like the Moxies, all the way to the Mantras, the big giant umbels. But look, Green Legacy, just south of Columbus. I think this is going to be a great trial site now for our industry. Just after Cultivate, or maybe before, you can visit and see some of that early show of the gardens. So we love to now have this so close to Columbus with Green Legacy. Okay, Ivy League, we've improved the white, strong heat tolerance, no edema. This thing just powers through, a lack of blushing now, just solid, bright white colors, light, nice body, great foliage. Here it is, both in the west at Plant Peddler, north at DGI, and look here in Athens, Georgia, University of Georgia, kicking some rear end with that flower power. So we love our Ivy League geraniums. You're looking for the classic Ivy geranium, this is the way to go. We've also improved the Americana White Splash. We've given it a little more vigor, but look at the flower power, Lauren. Look at the nice number of umbels on that canopy. And that's what we've done. We brought the vigor up to kind of match a lot of the other Americana varieties. So this is that zonal geranium. You've got white splashes now in Mojo, Calliope medium. We've got this improvement now in Americana White Splash. With Syngenta being the market leader in geraniums, we always continue to improve our breeding to give the customer high performing geraniums. And speaking of high performing, Plant Peddler, Flower Power, Lucas, again, I show you the geranium performance this year. Wow. And then showing here at the Cincinnati Zoo, late in the season, right? Late in the season with that amount of flower power on a geranium with all the heat and humidity that the Midwest received. That's pretty impressive. Another great impressive plant is Deco Red. This was the last of the old Whispers kind of profile, had a little larger leaf, a little larger flower. Now this Deco Red Improved has kind of tightened up, nice and tidy, more flowers, a little smaller flowers, but great, durable, great for combinations, doesn't consume the other components of the quick combo. So you've got that really nice medium habit playing well here in this patriotic combo there at Young's. At the Penn State trials, it got a 5 out of 5 the entire summer. And
Wow.
Christine Snyder told me they had 14 inches of rain since the beginning of May into July. Okay, 14 inches of rain. And this is what
Wow.
happens with Deco. It gets hammered by rainfall and it just rebounds right back again, right? That's what we see. When we see petunia blocks, a lot of the other competitors, they're down, they don't respond well, they kind of get snotty and slimy. The Decos just shed it off and they keep shining and performing. So if you want a great landscape petunia, this Deco Red is awesome in that Deco collection of petunias. Really strong performance all the way through from north south. You can see just really lots of flowers loaded on that canopy. And then we've got a few cool, almost gothic, if you will. So I know
Ooh.
there's a lot of gothic gardeners out there. Can we get a hand raise on that this webinar here? We've got some folks wearing the boots. Yeah, there you go. We got some folks. So this I love this name, Black Widow, right? Black Widow with that, webbing in the middle, that white wispy webbing. Okay, so yeah, it's got striking characteristics, kind of an upright, almost like the Sanguna patio habits, but it's in the fun house, right? It's in that awesome collection of petunias that we have. So we have a black petunia now, and its black color really stays stable throughout the garden season. So great for containers. We really slot this for containers, for baskets, for combos, performing across the country, north to south, east to west. Lucas having a really nice display here. Here it is in just there in Litchfield, Michigan, and then in Cresco, all the great trial sites and combos as well. Like think about using black now with all those combos, all those great Syngenta genetics. And Ryan Hall, our head of Americas, called out this combo on the far left with the Zinnia Zydeco and the Lysomachia. What a great fall display of color that you can build right now for sales, retail sales in September. Why? Why, you ask? Because its minimum photo period requirement is 9.5 hours. So here we are in the spooky season, and we have a black petunia that's going to flower into October. What what more can you
It's
ask
perfect.
for? Yeah.
It's literally perfect.
So it also won a Retailer's Choice Award at Cultivate. So we were delighted about that. Now, you
I
can
got a
also,
pocket full of sunshine.
okay, I have no idea that song. I'm Gen X. Sorry, I'm a hard rocker. Sorry, Lauren, I can't get into that type of
No.
music. But you go, girl. You go, girl. Okay. So look, Sanguna Sunshine as well. We kind of brightened up, if you will. No, pun intended. The Sanguna, brilliant color. The Sanguna, the old yellow was a little dull, but it had great garden performance. But we've now brought that sprounding habit with the Sanguna Sunshine, 9.5 hour, great for the spooky season as well. Blending it with marigolds and orange zinnias and celosias. Think about how you can use this, and also in spring, kind of cheery, bright and cheery. And I think you had mentioned, right, it's themed now in a lot of weddings.
Oh my gosh, yes, butter yellow. I don't know if anyone's heard, but it's quite the trending color, and was the color of the bachelorette party that I was at last weekend. So,
Yeah. All right. Mass Young Plants staff evaluation, 4 out of 10 there in Grand Rapids. Here it is all across the country, really performing well, ground beds and containers. All right. Talk to us about Scaevola, Lauren.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is Fanatics, and I think it's safe to say that all of us are fans of this. It is a replacing series for Bombay, but it is a better Bombay. It is a week earlier to flower. It's a really nice, densely branched habit, which just gives you even more flower power. And it, of course, mixes really well together. It's perfect for combos and also mixed together with itself. So really excited to have this on board. Here are some awesome trialing photos so you can see its performance up in Michigan with Mass Young Plants, all the way down to Texas and their in-ground trial. It got a ton of flags. I think it was top 3 at the Houston container trial as well.
Yes, called out on social media. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Really beautiful containers about DGI propagators. And then, of course, like I mentioned, it just mixes really well together. So this is a couple shots from Colorado, State University, Young's Plant Farm, and Ontario, Canada, showcasing our Fanatic Spring Spirit Quick Combo Mix. So just absolutely stunning in every way. And it
Yeah.
is actually my phone backdrop. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, it
fun
really
fact.
reinforces the uniform habit now of all those core colors, pink, white, blue, when you look at that spring spirit mix. So, yeah, you know what? I don't even say better Bombay anymore. Fanatics is here to stay and it is doing really well. So, check it out. Fanatics Scavola.
Next up is our improved Lanai Blue Verbena. So Lanai is our Verbena series. We have a huge assortment of bold and bright colors. They're kind of the backbone for our quick combos. They're great for hanging baskets and, of course, mixed combinations. So with this improved color, I mean, you can just see the awesome flower power it has. I know at the Metrolina open houses, it was raining that day,
Mm,
but you can just see the flower power on this photo here from there. And even though it got rained on, I know those flowers are going to perk right back up and be beautiful.
yeah.
And then, of course, Southern Performance at Young's, really beautiful container up at DGI Propagators. And yeah, just keep in mind mixing it. Even verbena, straight verbena combos are stunning and perfect for early spring.
And super strong powdery mildew tolerance with the Lanai series. Okay. Speaking of an outstanding Lanai variety, taking this green apple, blending it with Sanguna coral and this large blue violet lobelia to make this tropical look of a quick combo called Surfside Sunrise. This really performed well across the North American region. Here it is at Lucas, still showing you lobelia, great display of lobelia. So that balance, right? We trial in 8 different sites across North America to ensure their balance. We shear them back. We let them surge back in growth to make sure they all 3 components or 2 components come back in order to launch these. And then we've had real strong garden performance with the Surfside Sunrise. This is probably one of my favorites now because it's got the Itzy and it's got the Sanguna and the Techno Violet. This is called Violet Riot. So yeah, right. I'm a hard rocker. I will tend to call it Quiet Riot sometimes, but it is Violet Riot or Violent Riot, if you will. I just will scream at you, and I love the garden performance. At Lucas, it knocked me down. Of the quick combos, the new quick combos launched, this is one you gotta have. This is so attractive. Those jewel tones, right? I'm thinking about our product manager, Amy Briggs-Maka. She is so into quick combos. Primary tones, hot tones, red, white, and blue tones, spring tones, pink tones, purple, blue tones, tropical tones. She's got it all in the assortment of quick combos, and this Violet Riot is outstanding.
Well, you've got your favorites and I've got mine. So Deco Rose Rhapsody mix is definitely one of my new top favorites. I mean, you cannot beat Decos for their garden performance, how they blend together. They're just so strong. So now we're incorporating one of our new varieties with the Deco Rose vein with the purple and the white. It's just absolutely stunning. And you know what they say, rosé all day. Really outstanding garden performance, as you can see here. I mean, just the flower power is phenomenal. Just completely covered with that nice sprouting habit.
Yeah, 4.8 to 5 all the way through summer at Penn State. So, and again, performing really well in those high rainy periods of the summer.
Lastly, we got Playa Blanca mix. So this was a really cool one, playing with textures with the Mizu and the Angelonia with the Vandalista coconut in there. Just a really cool novel mix, sticking to the white theme, but really playing around with the texture and the form.
Love the Mizu.
I do too. It definitely was a summer moment of Mizu with these in the mix. Holding up really well at Lucas Greenhouses. It got a couple flags at the Plant Peddler open house, Penn State University, and then, I mean, that picture from Colorado State University is just gorgeous with it coming over the side, covering up that container.
Yeah, think summer weddings, white weddings, little Billy Idol, white wedding. Okay. Perennials. Tell us a little bit about these perennials, right? We're packing it all in, right? Vegetables, perennials, biennials. Let's go.
That's right. We got it all. And so we're just going to quickly spotlight some of our perennials that looked fantastic throughout the trialing season. There was a ton of them at Smith Gardens. So you're looking at our new intro of Spot on Red Sedum, Aerial Pink Iberis. I mean, just that little tuft of lavender color. It's also got really great heat tolerance too. So it's perfect for that shoulder season going into summer. Javelin Fortissimo Purple Lavender. And one of my personal new favorite series is the Dottie Digitalis. It's more compact, about 25% more compact than Camelot, so slightly more grower friendly. We have that really beautiful peach color in there that you can see kind of at the end. And it also has really beautiful lateral branches that start flowering before that first flower spike is finished. So you just get optimal color impact at retail.
And we have all the hardiness zones outlined in our culture guides. So check out those. They're full culture, built, ready to go. Hardiness, propagation, production culture for perennials. A few more
That's
perennials
right.
here.
We also had quite a showcase at Metrolina Greenhouses. So we were looking at our improved Western Star Taurus Leucanthemum, the Aromatico blue lavender, and then the Caribou Campanula dark blue bicolor. Super pretty. And yeah, like Jamie said, we have a ton of resources available. And this year we built in all of the perennial culture into our grower success guide. So be sure to check that out as well.
And wonderful to have these trial sites too, right? Metrolina in the south, University of Minnesota in the north, and also in the Pacific Northwest, with Smith Gardens evaluating several of our perennials. It's so delightful to have all these trialing partners with our perennial performance. Okay, we talked
Well,
about sneak peeks. So we're
that
letting the cat out of the bag. So Lauren, let's hear it. What do we got here?
Well, get excited because we have four new color intros to our Blockbuster Vinca series. So in Blockbuster, we have 11 core colors, which also includes the very best blue on the market. So I hope you're growing that. And if you're not, add it to your assortment. But now we're introducing these four novelty colors. So they're denoted by the crush in the name. So we got a really nice papaya crush, blackberry crush, raspberry, and blueberry crush. With Blockbuster, you get really awesome garden performance, and with the F1 Vigor, includes, germination above 90%, which is fantastic for the seed series. And of course, those extra large double flowers and stacked habit. I mean, I could go on and on about this. I'm really excited to see it across North America next year. I'm pretty confident that it will definitely be a summer standout.
Yeah, and even taking these four colors and blending them into a combo in a big tub, like 14-inch tub, just the rainbow of color that you see with these gorgeous bright shades of blueberry. And I love the fruit tones. I love the fruit themes that we have in Syngenta Flowers. So exciting. Okay, another exciting thing. Number 4, Mero 4, right? In the Sunfinity portfolio, we've now bringing a Sunfinity single, vegetatively propagated, easy to grow, very similar to the double yellow vegetative Sunfinity. Here you have it already in trial production. This grower, seamless, right? Adopted the same double yellow protocols, easy to grow, bright yellow color, dark center, bulletproof, great addition. All the culture is pretty much there already. This is a no-brainer, folks. This is one you just adopt and goes right along with that double yellow in the Sunfinity portfolio. So if you want to learn more about Sunfinity production, we are actually going to have a webinar dedicated fully to Sunfinity, from the seed to the vegetative. We're going to be eating Sunfinity sandwiches. We might have 2 sandwiches, 1 in each hand. We are going to go all out with Sunfinity on October 22nd, an hour-long session. Everything you want to know about Sunfinity. So we're delighted. My colleague, Dr. Brian Krug, will join me on that webinar session. And then you've got a fun announcement here.
That's right. So if you are into trialing, looking to get started in trialing, or wanting to learn even more, AAS is hosting the International Plant Trialing Conference this year. Now, it only happens every 5 to 10 years. So sign up this year and come. It's in Minneapolis, October 13th through 15th. There will be panels covering pretty much all your trialing topics, from, how to put together effective reports, how to set up perennial trialing, cut flower trialing, budgeting, literally everything. So be sure to check it out.
It's the heart and soul of our industry. To learn the genetics well through trialing is critical. A lot of great speakers that I've seen promoted on social media for this. I believe our own Dr. Allison Carlson will be
Yes.
presenting something. So we're excited to have Allison at that. Okay. So we've got 2 thank you slides. We're gonna hit these thank yous quite quickly because we want to get to some of those questions. Wow, what do we want to say here, Lauren?
I mean, I think our theme for CAST this year really sums it up. Rooted in teamwork. So just thank you to everyone out there who partnered with us for these trialing efforts. Thank you to our Syngenta Flowers team, from farm production, breeders, product managers, marketing, area managers. I mean, it really takes us all. And I'm just excited every year to see the new varieties being launched, and then getting to all of the trialing events and connecting with everyone.
It's really about people and plants, right? And I think about the hard work these folks do, like Angela there at DGI. I think about Brian Weezy's team there with Mass Young Plants, and the innovation team in trialing. Jay and Abigail there at Lucas Greenhouses, the Gooder family. And then when you look at just the Syngenta group as a whole, from supply chain to R&D to finance, our sales team, our commercial team, that commercial team in the top there, there's no better team. I just so proud to be a part of that team, and we just love what we do. And it's been a great summer, with new people, right? We talked about Green Legacy. We now have a trial site working with Cavicchio Greenhouse. We're also working with Dr. Charlie Kraus now at the University of Connecticut. Look at some of the performance there with Pink Lemonberry at Cavicchio, and some of their Nirvanas there. So some new additions, and those links also are on our website. So we want to thank our folks, and we are going to welcome now any questions that you have. We've got a few minutes, and we'll take a little bit of time beyond the 2 p.m. Eastern hour also to make sure we cover all of our questions. So we'll shut up and we'll start to listen to what people got to say.
Let's see. We got one question on here, Jamie. What were your standouts this summer from the entire Syngenta Flowers portfolio?
Okay. Yeah. There's so many. I mean,
Many.
I really go back to some of the recent launches that we've had that continued to pop up in the awards. We highlighted a lot of the awards and ratings for the new introductions, but still, double yellow Sunfinity shining in a lot of the trial gardens. It's kind of an established piece of the garden now when you talk about garden trials and display. So Sunfinity Double, absolutely. And I just love our Nirvana series now with those 3 new colors and the 4 existing colors. Just it right out of the gate, it was strong. So I mean, we had ratings there at the University of Georgia. We were really high on it. It won awards all across the country because of its high performance and its garden vigor. So those are some of my kind of call outs.
Nice. I mean, I absolutely loved the Deco Max Pink that was introduced last season. Lucas Greenhouses had it on top of their entranceway into the trail garden, and it was just stunning. And it rained pretty heavily there all summer, and it was one of the petunias that, of course, held up through with those smaller flowers. So that was absolutely gorgeous. And then I really loved seeing our vegetalis trials out and
Mm.
about in the gardens. All the peppers and tomatoes, they were awesome.
Mentioning Deco Max Pink, word has it at Penn State, it was the best petunia for the summer.
Wow. I mean,
And
that
you
says
go
it
up
all.
against the leading petunias in this industry, and to be the best petunia there in Eastern PA with all of that rainfall and summer stress, that's pretty impressive. I mean, other
Mhm.
call outs, Bandalista Pineapple was recognized across, Painted Love Petunia,
Mhm.
uh, our Karma series of Dahlia, Karma Caroline, was the consumer favorite of the entire Colorado State gardens. And we had Dalagria a couple years back also winning a big favorite there. So, yeah, some of these genetics that have been recently launched are still shining, and we continue to put those into these garden trials to make sure people are putting them into their programming. All right, what else do we got?
Absolutely.
What other questions?
Let's see. Another great question. What is the vase life of Whisper? So great question. It is 5 to 7 days. And then of course recommending, putting in a solution in there, uh, to help feed the flowers and keep on a little bit longer. Oh, and someone commented, don't forget Caldera Hot Pink. Yes, that was a great variety also throughout the trialing.
Caldera, by far the sleeper series, continues to be a sleeper series, but once people put it in the garden, see its ground performance or see it in containers, flower power the entire summer, even though a single flower, just heat tolerance, no edema, glossy foliage, humidity, bulletproof, awesome series, folks. If you're seeing where those traditional ivy geraniums are just kind of, not as popular in programming, plug in that Caldera. You'll see that it's really a strong performer in the garden all the way through the summer. Cincinnati Zoo features it every year in those landscape beds, and it just continues to perform.
Yeah, and the Dallas Arboretum gave it a shout out too at their open house event this year, saying, and they were, how novel is it to have a good looking geranium in Texas summer? So really outstanding. Let's see, we got another question here. The Vegetalis is great for, oh, it's okay. Great for tiny yards, definitely. Who doesn't want to grow something to eat? So
Good comment. Yeah,
good
tasty
comment.
fruit. Yeah, yeah, I love
Um,
that summer dew. I just harvest about 6 to 10 fruits, put them with a little bit of ranch dressing. That's all you need for a lunch. Just delicious.
Anything with ranch dressing.
Yes.
Let's see, we got one more question here. If you had to pick one combo, what would you pick? Wow, it's tough to pick a favorite. Um, the Itsy Bitsy mix with all of our Itzies together as a quick combo. I mean, that is just bulletproof and
Yeah.
always looks incredible.
Itsy Bitsy mix, the Itsy trifection. Yeah, when you put Itsy in, that density makes things really pop. Um, Boy,
And I mean, I love what we're doing with Patio Playbook and putting our vegetative vinca in with our other heat-loving crops like the pentas. It works well with Beehive and also the vegetative star cluster is really outstanding.
yeah, with the Fanatics. Yeah, the Fanatics pink and the Star Cluster pink as a combination. Wow. Um, quick combos for those folks that are interested in the high performers, high sellers. We always in the catalog have an icon for that. So if you ever need to see what's really moving and shaking, that's the place to go in the catalog.
All right. Well, I don't see any more questions, Jamie.
Well, I do want to salute our marketing communications team that has helped us build this webinar today, the behind the scenes. I mean, Melanie, thank you so much for all you do for Syngenta Flowers. You've built a wonderful website, and all your background support and e-blasts and communication is greatly appreciated. I tell you, with all the team putting their energy together, great things happen. And so we did it, Lauren. I mean, we put a lot of stuff, a lot of things, and I know you put a lot of heart and soul into this presentation, combining all the data and all the pictures together to show Western, Northern, Southern, Eastern, Canada, Deep South. I mean, it's all right here built. This is recorded, so it'll be available always on our website. We actually have multiple years links on the website. So you can always tap into those narrated videos to check out other things. So thanks. Thank you. Thank you, Syngenta team. Thank you, industry folk. Thank you, gardening public, for joining us today. And we wish you a great fall season.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great day, everyone, and thank you for coming.